It's your everyday life we are talking about. What is involved in it? Whether one can be free of all this chaos, confusion and misery. Actually doing it, sir, I'm not talking for my benefit, right? I've talked for 52 years, basta for me. I'm not interested in talking. But I'm interested to find out if you can also discover the same thing, so that your own life will be totally different, transformed, so that you have no problems, no complexities, no strife, longings, all the rest of it. That's the reason the speaker is talking. Not for his own gratification, not for his own enjoyment, not for his own fulfillment, all that nonsense. The purpose of our inquiry into all this is to bring about a good society in which we human beings can live happily, without fear, without conflict, without all this striving, struggling, all the brutality and all the rest of it. Because society is built out of the relationship of people. If our relationship is not correct, precise, actual, then we create a society which is now, which is what's happening in the world. Right? So our inquiry into this, which is why human beings separately, you are seeking something, another is seeking something totally different. Each one is asking something different. Right? And therefore there is always this self-centered movement. And the society which we have created is based on these self-centered problems, self-centered ambitions, fulfillment, and the self-centered discipline which says, I must, which brings about violence. How will you find out? First of all, to find out, one must be free of all illusion, right? Which means terrible honesty, so that your mind doesn't deceive itself. Right? Not to deceive itself, one must understand the whole nature of desire. Right? Because it is desire that creates illusion. Through desire, one wants fulfillment. One hopes for something more. So, unless you comprehend the whole nature and structure of desire, it will inevitably create illusion. And we went into the question of desire. So can your mind, having understood the activity of desire, know its relative value, and therefore be free to observe, which means to observe without any kind of illusion. Nationalism is an illusion, right? Obviously. That's very easy. The illusions that thought has created, right? Is one aware of the illusions. Come on, sirs. And when the mind is free of illusions, and so being absolutely without any hypocrisy, being clear, honest, then we can begin to inquire. First, you have understood no authority, the nature of thought, thought being limited, and knowledge, which is stored up in the brain as memory, and that memory acting as thought in action. So knowledge is always part of ignorance, right? We went into that. So what takes place in the mind? You understand, the mind, as we've gone into it, is not only the capacity to think clearly, objectively, impersonally, and the things that thought has created, technologically, all the rest of it in the world, and thought has also created all the inward problems, right? When one observes all this, the mind has the capacity to act not from thought, but from pure observation. You get this, I wonder to understand. Please, sirs, all this is logical, is nothing sectarian, nothing Eastern philosophy, none of that. Though the speaker is born in that country called India, he's not an Indian. He's got a passport, that's all. So he's not involved in exotic, romantic nonsense or some strange philosophy. We are only examining what is actually taking place. And to observe what is actually taking place, one must look without the response of the past shaping it. From that pure observation, there is action. That is intelligence. And that is also the extraordinary thing called love and compassion.